Goodness! A new bombshell has entered the villa. Ah! Alright, welcome back to the channel. I am the Pumpkinator. Today we're going to be covering the Bomb Queen comic series, which, holy crap dude, buckle up. Created by Jimmy Robinson for Image Comics. I'd say she has a unique publication history. She doesn't have a main storyline, but rather multiple limited series and one-shots, with her first two miniseries coming out in 2006, and then the following two coming out the next year, followed by the fifth volume that came out in 2008, and the sixth volume spanned from 2009 to 2011. Then the seventh volume came out in 2011 as well, and the final volume came out in 2020. So she's been around for quite some time, and it looks like we got ourselves another dedicated writer on our hands. Speaking of the writer, Robinson also wrote comics like Cold Blue, The Empty, and the Junk Rabbit comics. He also won an Inkpot Award in 2015, so he has that comic seal of approval. Let's go, brother! But that's enough of the backstory of the comic. Let's look at some of the miniseries and see what's really up with the Bomb Queen. Issue 1 starts on a talk show. Bomb Queen is on Candid with Candy, who's talking to her about her book and movie deal. Candy asks her how she's able to do it all while governing a city, but Bomby says she doesn't govern anything. She rules the city as a villain. And when somebody steps out of line, she just kind of kills them. Candy asks her, how is she a villain where there hasn't been a hero in the city in almost a decade? But the bombing mommy explains that she used to be a part of a team of 3 other queens, but they all turned hero and turned against her. So she killed them all, and now she's the only queen left. And that's how she rose to power. But her rise to power wouldn't have been able to happen without Candy. That's why Bomb Queen put her in her book. And when Candy opens her book, it blows her freaking face off, which everyone is so happy about. Yay. Bomb Queen then blasts a hole through the wall and makes a dramatic escape. All this was witnessed by a man watching a TV, and he says all of this is going too far, which is fair because she murdered somebody on live television. The man that was watching is Robert Woods, a politician that's running for mayor, and he's planning on taking down the Bomb Queen. But somehow she's really popular with the people, and Congress likes how she rules the city because it makes some money, even though the people are hurting. He knows all this, of course, but he wants her to be someone who finally stands up to her. So he talks to his team about hiring a hero to save the town. Cutting to the mayor's office, it seems that they have a little explosive visitor. She's there to ask her why her bad bitch payment is being delayed, and it turns out the reason is because he's trying to save money so that he can win the next election, because he's worried that Woods is going to take his job. When she questions him, he explains that Woods is trying to fix up the city. She thanks him and goes back into the city, which looks like how I played Saints Row the Third when I got bored as fuck. She goes to a Chinese restaurant and threatens to give a cashier an STD. Okay, bro. What the fuck am I reading? I thought when you guys voted for this, it would be like ultra booby lady, not like psychotic villain with AIDS. Anyway, she goes there to meet... Never mind, this comic is peak. Anyway, she goes in to meet Mama Wong to see what the streets are saying about this Woods character. Wong confirms everything that the mayor said, and so Bomb Queen goes out to prepare. She heads to her mansion, where her butler asks her what he can do for her. She says the same old, and gets all naked to take a bubble bath. And watch some local shows, which are like really messed up. One is like a PDF file reality TV show, which is disgusting. And then another one's like Murderer Survivor. But she does this until she sees an ad for Woods' election. She decides that she wants to write him a strongly worded letter, all while reading her fan mail, where she gets a letter from a little girl asking her to come to her show and tell. Oh my god, she's gonna kill some kids! We then cut to Woods, who's looking like Deep Throat. He speaks to the shady man, and Woods says that this is against his moral, but the shady man says we all have our philosophies, and Bomb Queen will be taken care of by tomorrow. Now that was just issue 1, and if you couldn't tell, it was pretty messed up. What in the world is wrong with this writer? This is crazy. So what happens in the rest of the story is that a hero by the name of Ace Justice tries to take her on while she's at the show and tell. So she just bombs the classroom. He tries to fight her, but she low-key just toys with him until she throws a bomb at a child. I told you this was gonna happen! Run, little girl! Well, it turns out it was actually just a stink bomb that she uses as a distraction so she can escape. But Ace Justice gets some positive PR from the fight, even though the public doesn't really know how they feel about it, which really pisses off BQ. So she interrogates the mayor. He says he doesn't know anything, but she puts together that Woods sent the hero after her. So she goes for him at his rally, but Ace Justice is there to protect him. They duke it out, but she freaking blows his head off, which the public doesn't like, which causing a protest outside of her house and Woods' popularity to rise. He starts to celebrate his success at a gala, but BQ crashes the event. She confronts him about using campaign funds to hire a hitman and starts jorking his shit. Golly, what is this comic book, man? She tells him that he's gonna start working for her, or she's gonna destroy his political career. She tells him that she's gonna give him time to think about it, but he immediately makes a call to a top secret lab who have been developing a weapon in case the hero fails. Well, this weapon turns Wood into this big blue bitch, and they duke it out, destroying a bunch of the city. But Bomb Queen is able to have her cat absorb his power and turn him back to a normal guy, in front of everyone. The public get mad at him for messing up the city, and they beat him to death, allowing Bomb Queen to go back to her status quo. And that's how the first volume ends. And it's freaking crazy. There's so much debauchery in it that it's sickening. There's like a scene where the KKK is in it for some reason. It's pretty warped. And if you haven't noticed, politics is like the centerpiece of these stories, and that doesn't change in the later volume. We even see some familiar faces like Obama and Donald J. Trump. I love myself some Bomb Queen. She's a lovely woman. She loves herself some DT. She lets me touch her butt. That's not even like a joke. They bone. And in fact, let's take a look at her brushes with our presidents. Let's start with Volume 6. In this one, Obama just got elected and promised change to America. And one of his promises to do that is to clean up Newport City within 9 months by working with the heroes. Well, obviously, BQ doesn't seem to like that, so she starts a wildly messed up smear campaign against him. That includes her saying that she's having Obama's secret love child. The smear campaign turns a lot of the American people against him. Then she takes on the heroes and bombs all of the national monuments. And then she just... I just feel so gross right now, bro. How am I supposed to jork to this? Anyway, she absolutely messes up our boy Obama and then shits out a baby. Oh, and if you're wondering who the actual dad is for the baby, it's George Bush. And at the time, Robinson had most of the recent presidents being the main catalyst of his story. Well, except for Sleepy Joe. I don't think he was able to get up the stairs. But since I covered the last issue, I'm gonna cover the most recent one. Let's take a brief look at Trump Card. Also, let's just remember that this is a comic book that I'm covering. So for the love of God, please be civil. Jesus Christ. Your story takes place in a fictional 2024. A hero by the name of White Knight captures BQ and tells her that she's going to be running for president and he'll be her VP. This way it can disrupt Trump's plan to be president for life. In exchange, she can get a bigger seat to rule over. She agrees, but as you can probably tell, she's definitely not going to be going with that plan. Instead, she treats this as one big game and uses this opportunity to show America's darker side. She goes on TV and makes fun of Trump, who tweets a bunch of stuff about her. His status quo, you know. But then she crashes one of his rallies and says Donald Trump is actually a pretty cool guy, which makes him like her all of a sudden. Then in the final issue, they bone. And she wins the election and gives the president title over to White Knight, but the real power still remains in her hands. She uses her Christian space lasers to kill all the heroes in the world. Oh, and Donald Trump. And that is the craziness that is Bomb Queen. I will say that although this comic is disgusting, I do like it a lot. At the beginning of every volume, it has a quote from a different historian, except for the first one. That one has a quote from Miss Frizzle's voice actor, but it's still pretty powerful. And each quote encapsulates the theme of each volume. The pursuit of success is sometimes self-defeating. A regime's success isn't judged by its critics, but by the support of its followers. The radical desire for change gets replaced by keeping the status quo. All really powerful stuff. And the way how Robinson tells his story is extreme, but it does get the point across in a really unique way. Our country does have problems that need to be addressed, and we need to come together as a people to be able to do that. How likely that's gonna happen? No clue. But you know, a guy can dream, right? Anyway, that's what I thought about the comic, but I would love to know what you guys think down in the comments below. If there's any other comics you want me to cover, let me know down there as well, and keep an eye out for it on the poll. Like the video, and hey, hype it up too, so that more people can see it. It's free, and it really helps out the channel. And subscribe so I can get a crumb of validation. But I'll see you guys in the next one. And make sure you tell your family that you love them. Bye-bye now!